So now that you know your customers and you feel comfortable that you've had enough testing in the marketplace to define your customers and get validation on your idea, we're going to talk about building out a prototype or an MVP. That can take many different forms, and the reason we want to do this is we want to have something that's functioning so that you can again continue to validate your idea against the marketplace. So I've taken the input that I've had from the verbal, phone calls, whatever information you've received in the first phase from your customers, and now I'm using it to build out my requirements for what it is I need, and which means I need to make some decisions about features that I'm going to include and features that I might not include in my MVP or my minimal viable product. So you want to think through empathy to the user, you want to be doing use cases, you want to understand the customer journey in order to come up with the right features to be demoing and prototyping for your product. When it comes time to build the product, you may make some different decisions depending on what it is that you're actually building. It could be a physical object, it could be a service model, it could be a website, could be a video, could be a functioning demo, might just be screenshots. Whatever your choices are for the actual prototype, what you want to be doing is thinking through what pieces of the screens do I need to see, what pieces of the actual product do I need to have people be testing so that they actually can try the features, and so you get a sense of what it's going to take to manufacture and build the real product that I have. The other piece to this is you need to be able to explain what it is you just built. And so you have a mock-up, you have an MVP, you have a prototype, but you need to be able to explain it. And I highly, highly encourage you, always lead with the benefits and the value of what you're delivering. The tendency among most people is to talk about the features and to lead with the features because you've just built this amazing product, this amazing MVP or prototype or video, and you're really proud of it. But at the end of the day, you're not selling features. And I would say this is true for anybody doing technology. You're not selling the features of the it. You're leading with the value and the benefits of what you offer to customers. The customers will purchase, the customers will be excited when they believe in your mission and when they believe in what you offer to them. So think through this flow. Make sure in the whole prototyping process you understand the customer. You have different user flows for different types of customer segments that you defined in the first phase. Make sure your prototype is showing both sides. For example, if you have two audiences, show both sides of what both audiences would see in your service or in your product. And then make sure you can explain very simply what it is you're offering and what the value and benefit is. When you write this down, this becomes the foundation for your story. I would encourage you with your sales and marketing and with any kind of initial description of what it is that you're offering to write in the form of a story or to articulate verbally in the form of a story. The reason is stories are memorable. I can retell a story that someone has told me, and you want people to be able to retell your story as a business. So let me give you an example of a feature versus a benefit. For example, if you were developing ambulances, say in India or Pakistan, to transport people, if I were going to talk about the feature, I'd be talking about the truck, the structure, how big it is, how many I have, how it gets from here to here, what it looks like. If I were going to talk about the benefits, I'd talk about saving lives. I'd talk about minimizing the amount of time it takes for the ambulance to actually arrive to the emergency. I'd talk about benefits to hospitals, of what time-saving efforts I'm bringing into the equation here. So there's a bigger ecosystem and there's a bigger benefit, and oftentimes students get caught up in the actual feature. But if you actually keep asking why am I doing this? Why is this here? Why is this beneficial? You'll get to a broader ecosystem as to who is this benefiting, and the broader audience will be more apparent the more you ask proper questions around the why. Another example, say you're doing recycling or waste management. I might be talking about the process, how I deal with the waste management. I might be talking about what I recycled or what I turned it into as a result of recycling it. Those are all it's, but those aren't actual benefits to the community. So keep thinking, why is this beneficial to the community? Why did I come up with this idea to begin with? Why is a great question to keep asking throughout this whole process as you're brainstorming your product and as you're validating it. So keep asking why and keep going towards the broader challenge for the Halt Prize and for any kind of business that you're trying to create. Why should customers care about what I'm creating?